Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show. I'm here with Ron Placone and the Miserable Liberal.
Hello.
Hello.
You know who this is? That's Justice Robert Bork. He was nominated to the Supreme Court by Ronald Reagan. And he was very right-wing. So right-wing that the Democrats actually stood up against him. That's how right-wing. So instead of him, I think what we got was... who do we get instead of him? Scalia or Rehnquist? We got one of those instead. I think Rehnquist was already on the court. Antonin Scalia. So that's who replaced him.
And that was the moderate compromise, Scalia.
I guess.
I think right wing would have been an understatement for this dude.
Yeah, so they compromised on Scalia. So, and he was known for his bad hair. Look at his hair on top of his head. That's all combed over. That's a big comb over, and he had horrible facial hair too. It was worse than his head hair, and he was a weird with his hair. Anyway, why do I bring him up? They bring him up because when he was nominated for Supreme Court justice, somebody released his videotape rental records. Right, so it used to be. You probably don't know this. You used to have to go outside of your house to a building that had videotapes. Tapes, the video VHS. They're like the size of a skinny book, and and a book is like it's like a Kindle, but you hold it and the pages. These are hard to explain, but someone released his videotape rentals, all the videos that he had rented. They kept track of that, and then somebody got a hold of it and released it. And at that time, that was a big deal. Like, that was before the internet. That was before, so you didn't have any of these secret things that you did except your videos. Then people, ooh.
Man.
Yeah.
You had it, man. Blockbuster employees had a lot of power back then.
Yeah. And so what did they do? They've passed the Video Privacy Protection Act. This is right from the Wikipedias. It says the Video Privacy Protection Act, the VPPA, was a bill passed by the U.S. Congress in 1988 and signed into law by President Ronald Reagan. It was created to prevent what it refers to as, quote, wrongful disclosure of videotape rental or sale records or similar audiovisual materials to cover items such as video games and the future DVD format. Congress passed the VPPA after Robert Bork's video rental history was published during his Supreme Court nomination. It makes any videotape service provider that discloses rental information outside the ordinary course of business liable for up to $2,500 in actual damages. So that people used to give a crap about your privacy and about what you watched and what you consumed entertainment-wise, that was private. We used to value that in America. That was a big deal. That separated us from all the other countries. We valued privacy. That's what made us better than the communists. We valued freedom, liberty, privacy, freedom from the state, intervention.
I'm not as young as just to throw it out there that I'm not super young. When I was a really young man, I would go to the video store, and as I got a little older, we had a friend that worked there, and when the video store was going out of business because of technology, I was around like 12, 13-ish, and that was how I got access to a lot of adult videos. Because when they were going out of business, he kind of, grabbed some of those and divvied them up amongst his friends. So,
Nah, it's a gentleman.
He was a gentleman about it.
So why do I bring this up? Why do I bring that up? The Video Privacy Protection Act, because people used to care because they don't care anymore. So, we're living under the surveillance state. That's the NSA, which started with the Patriot Act. They repealed habeas corpus. You have no privacy in America. Every email, every text, every phone call, the government knows, and they're keeping a record of it. Just so you know. So that's gone. Now, something new just happened, something even worse-y. Last December, before Barack Obama left office, they passed this internet rules that would protect consumers' privacies, not allowing your internet provider to sell your data to third party, to like what websites you go to, what you're looking at, what you bought. So they passed some rules that said that your ISP, your internet service provider, whoever that is, can't now sell your data, what you've been doing online, to a third party without your permission. That was the new rules. Those were great. What the Republicans did was overturn those rules. House passes bill undoing Obama internet privacy rule. The House on Tuesday voted in favor of blocking internet privacy rules passed by the Federal Communications Commission last year, sending the bill to President Trump, who is expected to sign the law. Now, the weird thing is, conservatives are supposed to be super frickin' suspicious of government. They're supposed to be so into the Bill of Rights and privacy. But here they are. This is the Republican government. Here they are, and look what they're doing. The bill passed 215 to 205, with 15 Republicans joining 190 Democrats voting against it. Boy, I'd like to know who those 15 Republicans are. I'm going to look that up. But look at that, all the Democrats voting together as a bloc. That's wild, right? The FCC rules would have given consumers greater control over what their internet service provider can do with their data by requiring those companies to get permission from customers before using their information to create targeted advertisements. The rules had not yet gone into effect. The bill, which passed the Senate last year, they can repeal health care, but they can get rid of some of your privacy and give it to a corporation. I don't think that's what you guys voted for. I don't think that's what anybody voted for. Voted for Trump or a Republican. People want less privacy. I don't think that anybody wants this. Yet here they are doing it. Are they doing it for you? No. They're not doing it for you. They're doing it for their donors. The rule had not yet gone into effect. The bill, which passed the Senate last week in a party line vote in the Senate. So all Republicans for, all Democrats against. It invokes a law called the Congressional Review Act, CRA, that allows Congress to undo recently passed regulations. A CRA bill also prohibits agencies from passing similar regulations in the future. So now, not only did they get rid of these regulations that protected our privacy, it also prevents any future regulations from doing so also. That's what you voted for, right? Is that what you voted for? That's what you wanted Trump to do and all the Republicans to do? You want them to make sure that you could never have privacy again? That's what they're fucking doing. That's what's happening, just so you know. And weirdly, the Democrats are standing up for the people. That's weird. I don't know what's in it for them to do this. But they're doing it. They're actually being the opposition party and 15 Republicans. Look at that. They must be in purple state. I don't know why. Or maybe they're super conservative. You would think conservative people would be for more privacy. So maybe those 15 Republicans are super conservative. Did you find out who they were?
I've got the 15 Republicans
Who are
if you
they?
want them. It's Justin Amish from Minnesota, Mo
He
Brooks.
sounds Amish.
Mo Brooks from Alabama, Mike
Mo Brooks,
Kaufman
he sounds Brooksy.
from Colorado.
Who?
Mike Kaufman.
Kaufman. He sounds like he's got a cough.
Warren Davidson, Ohio.
I bet he likes motorcycles. All right. Okay.
John Duncan, Tennessee. John Fazo, New York. Garrett Graves, I believe, Louisiana. Jaime Herrera Butler, Washington. Walter Jones,
What did you're telling me there's a Republican named Jaime Herrera? Is that what you're telling me?
Butler, I guess. Walter Jones, North Carolina. Tom McClintock, California.
Uh-huh.
David Reichert, Washington. Mark Sanford, we know him, South Carolina.
Oh, Mark Sanford, the guy who cheated and left his wife for a
And gave her-
Argentinian hottie.
And gave her half a bike.
Yeah, and screwed over his family. Yeah.
Elise Stefanik, New York. Kevin Yoder,
So these sound like conservative dudes.
yes, and Lee Zeldin, New York.
So these are the good dudes.
These are the 15 that voted against the resolution.
Okay. So there you go. That's the 15 Republicans. The White House has said it supports the bill. That's what you wanted Trump to do, right? Side with corporations over the people's privacy?
Well, and now is the time for them to strip power away from the FCC, too. That's worth noting because, I mean, like all of Trump's appointments, where they're appointed to something they want to destroy, whether it be education or the environment, Ajit Pai, the FCC guy, I mean, he's set on destroying the FCC. He's against net neutrality. He's against them pretty much having any regulations, which is what they're in place to do. So now
He had originally said in October that he was for these rules. I had read that he had said that. So this guy,
did?
in
Really?
October, he said he was for these rules. That's what I read. I wonder how he feels about it now. I'm going to guess.
Yeah, I mean, he was pretty much against like almost everything having to do with the agency. So I'm sure he flipped on it.
I'm sure he flipped. The opposition to the regulations was led by Republicans and the telecom industry, who argued. So the regulations, being the Obama regulations, ensuring your privacy. Who was against that? Republicans and the telecom industry, who argue that they are too costly and confusing.
It's real confusing. Can we have your information? I'd prefer not. That was confusing.
I'm confused.
Did you understand the question?
So can I have it or no? I don't know. They say the rules would have subjected internet service providers to restrictions that do not apply to websites like Facebook and Google, which also collect consumer information for data-driven ads. So they're doing it. Why can't we? They're screwed. They're fucking over the Constitution. Why can't we? They're doing something horrible. Why can't we? You can sign out of Facebook. You don't have to use Google. So you can sign out of Facebook and then go on the internet. You can't sign out of your own internet service provider. That's the whole point. That's why this is different, and that's why that's BS. The FCC didn't embrace a technology-neutral framework for privacy, John Lebowitz, co-chair of the industry group 21st Century Privacy Coalition, said in a call with reporters Tuesday. Got that all out in one breath. It instead set out an overbroad definition of sensitive data that doesn't apply to non-ISPs collecting as much or more personal data online. And as we all know, privacy shouldn't be about who collects information. It should be about what information is collected and how it is used. This resolution will not only end the requirement you take reasonable measures to protect consumer-sensitive information, but it prevents the FCC from enacting similar requirements and leaves no other agency capable of protecting consumers. So you see what's happening, right? So not only are they repealing the rule, but they're making sure that no one can ever protect consumers again in this way. That's what the Republicans are doing, and that's exactly what's happening. That's not spin. That's not me being a lib. That's what's happening. The privacy rules were passed under the authority that the FCC gained from its landmark 2015 net neutrality rules. Those rules prohibited internet service providers from blocking or slowing traffic to certain websites. It is extremely disappointing that Congress is sacrificing the privacy rights of Americans in the interest of protecting the profits of major internet companies, including Comcast, AT&T, and Verizon. President Trump now has the opportunity to veto this resolution and show he is not just a president for CEOs, but for all of America, ACO Legislative Counsel Nima Singh Giuliani said in a statement. Trump should use his power to protect everyone's right to privacy. Yeah, he should. Yeah, I bet he should.
There's a lot of things he should do.
Yeah. They should also pass single-payer health care because it saves everybody money and covers everyone. Not only is it economically the right thing to do, it's morally the right thing to do. And we don't do it because our government's bought. Just like this, the government's bought. They're not doing this because citizens wanted them to do it. They're doing this because their donors said do this and fuck over people, and they were like, okay.
I mean, the only lip service they're giving it is they're like, well, it's consumer choice and free market and buzzword.
So there you go. If this is what you voted for, there's something wrong with you. And if you didn't vote for this, I hope you call your congressman and your senator who voted for it and let them know. Because that makes a difference when you phone call. So call your congressman, call your senator, and let them know that this is bogus and you're not going to forget about it, and they're going to pay a price for it in 2018. Mm-hmm. That's how this works. That's why we still have Obamacare. Because a lot of moderate Republicans got scared. So there you go. That's how you scare them. Hey, our next live Jimmy Dore show is April 24th. April 24th, live in Burbank. We do 2 shows a month, live shows. So get your tickets right down there, jimmydorecomedy.com.